Yo, what's going on out there? I'm back with another quick hit clip for the Super Bowl. Welcome to the franchise here. So with this one, I just want to tap into some of the players that are going to be a key factor in this big game. Could be key factors of, who's going to win the game, who's going to lose. Big deciding factors in their play and their performance that's going to make a big impact and help their teams here. So I'm going to get straight into it with this quick hit clip here. And with this one, it's going to be non-star key players who can impact the game. So I think these are players that will low-key make plays at any given moment and everything like that. And they're also going to make plays that it may not show up on the stat sheet. It may not eat up all the numbers that the stars may have and everything like that. But these are the motherfuckers that you probably got to pay attention to, or you're going to see flashing on your screen, or being active, or maybe they do eat up crazy numbers and everything like that. So I'm going to get straight into it real quick and, just call out some of these players that I think are going to be key factors in the Super Bowl. So let's start off on the Philadelphia Eagles side. I can see a dude like Oren Burks. Oren Burks, reserve linebacker, filling in for Nakobe Dean, who hurt his knee, I believe, in the first playoff game with the Eagles. So he's finished for obviously the year. He won't be playing. But he came in and he feeling really good, had some pass deflections, popping up on screen, had a bunch of tackles, just making plays, so no drop-off. And that's what I've been talking about a lot with the Eagles, is that they really are, dogs on every single level, front line, second level, and the secondary, and even on the bench, on the sideline, they got reserves that are coming and they're ready to fucking play. That's how you build a team. And Oren Burks, who signed from the Packers, I believe, as a free agent, maybe he had a quick stint at another team right before that, not sure, but I just do remember his name and him being on that Packers roster in the same position, being a reserve linebacker for the most part. But he popped out this throughout the rest of this playoffs here when the Kobe Dean going down. I could see him being a key factor in the run game, definitely in the pass game, as the Chiefs do like to do that, bodying up Travis Kelce, or getting ready to keep his eyes up on those crosses across the middle and everything, or on those mesh routes that the Chiefs like to do, or just getting in the passing lanes, or doing a little bit of a spy on Mahomes, reading his eyes, and just if he throws the ball, just get your hands up and bat it down, or even get an interception. So Oren Burks for sure. Other guys these are more of the reserve guys that you could probably really see making plays. Like I said, these are non-star, non-household names, guys that unless you really watch football a lot, or you're a big fan of these specific teams, you probably wouldn't pay attention to their names. But Robert Hunt, anytime I see him, coming in as a reserve role in any of the Eagles games throughout the seasons or in the playoffs, not that he's getting sacks and all this crazy stuff, but he's pressuring. He's active. You see him popping, getting the best of the tackle, whoever he's going up against. He's popping out on screen. He may get a half sack. He may have a tackle for loss, but he puts pressure on. Robert Hunt, you can see him possibly, if he has to, if he gets that playing time or that opportunity to shot, maybe making a big play, or even if he's on special teams, making a big play out there. So that's another name. And Jordan Davis. Big boy, man. Big boy in the middle. I know they don't start him. He's a reserve guy. They usually, I think, with his size, they mainly want to use him for stopping the run, but he can rush the pass as well. He had a sack in the playoffs as well. And for a big motherfucker like him, he is agile. He is a little quick. He's athletic now. And he's fast, so he might fuck around, push the pocket if he doesn't have a sack, or maybe a half sack, or he just fucks the game up so he could fuck up Pat Mahomes' vision, line of sight inside the pocket in between the guards there. I think the Eagles defense is really going to attack that area so that they could slow down and kind of make it really, really difficult for Patrick Mahomes throughout the game to throw the ball and to have any lanes to slip out and run through there. So Jordan Davis is a guy. And then, the other ball off the edge too, it ain't all about the young boy Nolan Smith. You got Josh Sweat, who been doing this with the Eagles for the past few seasons now. Josh Sweat, man, he could have a day as well, because let's say they do put all the attention on Nolan Smith or all the attention on Jalen Carter, which I assume they would do. Josh Sweat could pop out, have some tackles for losses, bat some balls down at the line, and he's definitely capable of having a sack in this game as well. So really athletic dude. You gotta watch out for him. Josh Sweat, I think when he came out from, I think it was, he went to FSU, right? He went to Florida State as a safety. Then I think, he went to Florida State as a safety, and then I think he got drafted by the Jags, and then ended up on Philly, or did he get drafted straight to Philly? But I do know he came from Florida State, and his story was kind of crazy. I remember when he got drafted, because they said he was recruited. He was supposed to be there as a safety, and then you see the way that he plays, and he's so athletic. It's like, damn, like, he plays really fast, really instinctual, really quick and agile. So he might fuck around and pop out and have a big game. And then here's the other guys that, we're not paying attention to, but it's the Super Bowl. The Super Bowl the Super Bowl year in and year out, it usually has those players that come out of nowhere, and they just end up having the biggest games, because there's not a lot of season-long tape on them, or game-to-game, week-to-week tape on them. They're not a key fact. There's no game film on them where you're like, oh shit, we got to worry about him. And then the Super Bowl be those times when, like, those players come out of nowhere and they fuck around and having, a little big game right there, a little important game. So I'm going to rattle off a few names here. Grant Calcaterra, shit, who knows? He might fuck around and have a key first down catch or two, or he might fuck around and have a key touchdown catch or something like that. We don't know. He might mess around and have to have 3 catches or 4 catches on a 2-minute drive before the half, or if they coming from behind in the fourth quarter to win. You never know. While everyone's keying on all the other key guys that have deep routes and everything like that, he just comes out on a little flare route or a flat route a couple times on that last-minute drive, or that last-minute drive before halftime, and gets his little 3 or 4 catches in for like 40 yards. So, he'll be a key factor to contribute in this game. Maybe even a Jahan Dotson out of the slot. No one's paying attention to him. Let's say they key in on Goddard, who basically is their third option receiver. Let's say they key in on him. Jahan Dotson, still an athlete, man. You know what I mean? There's really no game film on him throughout the season, but let's say they forget about him and don't pay attention on him, do a slot corner blitz, because they ain't going to throw to their slot corner to him. We don't know who number 83 is. They don't give him the ball like that. See if he fuck around, come out and just have a big play, like 2 catches for 101 yards or some crazy shit like that. Or like 4 catches for like 75 yards. So, he could contribute also. And then Kenneth Gainwell, man, 2 catches for like 34 yards. A big play after the catch. Kenneth Gainwell has always produced for this team. Kind of quiet a bit this year. Dealt with a couple injuries as of late, but I think he's going to be healthy for this game. But he's a player too. He's good. He could contribute also in a way. Maybe he have like 2 big catches for, big gains there if they're stopping Saquon in the run. So just want to point those guys out there that could probably be key factors and have some type of impact or influence on the game here. As far as some other players, again, to the Chiefs side, Juju Smith, you've seen him pop out with like a 2-catch game, but 2 big catches throughout the playoffs here. So, he might have a big one and be a factor. I assume that he will, as he has in, I believe, every Super Bowl game that he's played with while he's been with the Chiefs. And he signed back with them again. You see him having a big game or being having an impact or a key play in the Super Bowl with the Chiefs. So I assume that should happen once again, because they trust him in this offense. Mahomes trusts him to make a play when they need it. So I wouldn't be surprised there with that. The other guys also who throughout the seasons with the Chiefs, throughout the playoffs with the Chiefs, and in the Super Bowl as well. Those 2 dudes, man, Justin Watson and Noah Gray. One at wide receiver, one at tight end, but they both seem like tight ends to me at times, and they both sometimes seem like wide receivers to me at some time. But Noah Gray and Justin Watson, man, if they have those, 2 key catches for first downs or big gains, which they like to use them in the offense like that, at pivotal times or a real critical moment, I can see that happening, man. Mahomes definitely trusts them in those spots. Andy Reid and Nagy, the whole offensive scheme, they trust him in those spots when they need to. When, Mahomes is spreading the ball around to everyone, spreading the ball around to the star players also, and the defense starts keying in on them. Yeah, always good to see a good Justin Watson big game for 15 yards or 20 yards, 2 catches for like 30, 40 plus yards, and Noah Gray, same thing. So I think they're going to be, a couple of those non-star players that could have an impact on the game, the influence in the game, a couple key catches. And then another dude that I would like to see, not just in special teams. I think in special teams he could set the tone for them, but I want to see him just in this game maybe get a little bit more involved in the offense, because no one really has game film on him also, but I think he has a little bit of juice and a little bit of pop that outside of Worthy and maybe Hollywood Brown, but mainly outside of Worthy, that the Chiefs don't have. As I want to see that dude, man, number 81, Romilio, man. He got to make a play in that offense this game, especially if they want to win or have a chance to keep this, really entertaining and competitive. But he might fuck around and be, have a key impact on a punt return or a kick return to get him good yardage, good field position, something like that. Or he might have a crazy catch for like a 15-yard first down when they really, really need it and no one's paying attention to him. So I could kind of see that happening. Other guys that, you could think about here is Tershawn Wharton and Mike Pennell in the middle, because even though, the Chiefs are a really good defense and everything, Tush Push is going to be out there. It's going to be out there tonight a few times. Hopefully it's just 2 or just a couple times, but it's going to be out there at least 3 times tonight. So Pennell and Wharton, they, along with Jones leading the way, they're going to have to come, ready and make an impact there. I can see them trying to make an impact. I mean, you can't stop it, but at least you got to put in the effort to try and have a chance to stop that tush push. So Pennell and Wharton got to have a good game. Outside of the tush push, they still got to do their thing, because, you got Saquon's going to be running all over the place. Also, Jalen Hurts, they'll have setup runs for him as well. If you could fuck it up on the inside in the trenches, in them A-gaps, and in between them guards, and then your edges play sound there, you have a chance to at least try and slow them down. So Warren and Pennell. And then Mike Dana as well on the outside contain. I'm pretty sure Jalen Hurts is aware of Karlaftis. Karlaftis is a good player on the edge, but what about the other side on the edge? Mike Dana also is going to have to step up and have an impactful game off the edge and containing. And I think that he is capable of that. We just have to see if he's going to be capable of that consistently throughout this game, because Dana is kind of a tweener type athlete where he can drop in coverage also. He could play a little bit of linebacker, but he starts off the edge. He has to do really well and contain. And his backup as well, on Menahue's going to get in there for some more snaps. He's got to put pressure on Hurts, and he's also got to be able to contain and be disciplined in his lane and trying to, make it uncomfortable, make it difficult, or stop Jalen Hurts. So that's another name also, Mike Dana, maybe a Menahue if he gets the snaps. But Mike Dana, I feel like in a lot of the playoff runs in the Super Bowls, he's a guy that his numbers aren't always showing up on the stat sheet, but if you watch the game, you see him make the plays and pop out and stay active and where it makes the difference in the key play in the game. So Mike Dana is one of them names that I could see also being a key impact here. Another dude, Brian Cook, man. Brian Cook at the safety spot, you have to have a really, really good game, because I think that they are going to, like I said, they're going to open it up and pass. And don't be having them drop interceptions like you had against the Bills, man. You can't be dropping 2 interceptions again, because this is where it really counts. If you have a chance to take away the ball, you got to take that shit away and get your hands on some passes, bat down the ball. But mainly just stay in coverage, stay focused, because, your running mates, Shamari Connor and Justin Reed, the other safeties, and Trent McDuffie, I could see them playing a lot of games around the line tonight, doing some blitzes, some run blitzes, some blitzes off the edge, and just really getting involved in the box tonight. So you got to stay on point on your P's and Q's, being that single high safety, and making sure that you're able to make a play on the ball, no busted coverage. I think he needs to have a key impact or influence on the game in the passing game if they start opening it up there as well. But at the same time, be disciplined as well, that, in your alley as a single high, that you don't let Saquon break a big one. So come down in the alley as well, which I think that Cook is capable of. I've seen this is a really good tackling team on all levels, not just on the D-line and linebackers. All their DBs can tackle really well as well here on the Chiefs defense. And other guys like Leo Chenal and Drew Tranquil, they're going to have to have an impact on this game also to rival Saquon Barkley. I mean, it's Saquon, so I'm not going to say they're going to stop him or totally neutralize him, but they just got to make those tackles. As long as they don't let him break a big one or a big touchdown run one time on them, they're going to have to really have big games for that. Other players on this defense that big no-names, not big no-names like that. I don't want to disrespect them, but like I said, non-star players, but they're still key players and key factors of the game. I want to see Shamari Connor and Najee Johnson, who I see they put out there at the outside corner sometimes. And he's mostly on special teams, but I see them put him at the outside corner sometimes. I need those two guys to have an impact on the game also. Obviously, with Najee Johnson, hey man, you gotta have some good coverage out there, because they will try you. Once they see 13 is on the field out there, they're going to try you against Devontae. They're gonna try you if you end up on AJ Brown. You already know how I feel about that. I need to see Justin Watson on AJ Brown all game. But we'll see what Spags does. But if he is out there, you're going to have to they're going to pick on you, so be ready for that. And you missed a couple of interceptions as well against the Bills and throughout this playoff. So you get your hands on the ball, you better make that pick. And so that they'll be like, yo, this dude, number 13 in the Chiefs, we know who he is, but he's a hero of the Super Bowl. He had that interception. Get your team hype, get the vibes right for the whole squad to be like, all right, cool. Like, we got down to our role player, one of the lowest string cornerbacks making plays. Oh, let's everybody get it rocking. So definitely, if you're out there on the outside corner, you got to make some plays. You can see him probably popping out, make some flashes, as I have seen that from time to time with him. And then with Shamari Connor, that's their big hitter on the defense, man. I think he's a backup safety. Sometimes you see him in the game as a starter. You see him in the game a lot, while Justin Reed, there's times where Spags has a defense where it seems like there's 3 safeties, maybe even 4 safeties on the field at one time, because you got Justin Reed sometimes playing in the linebacker position or coming from the safety and blitzing or looking like he's an outside linebacker and everything to throw those crazy looks at the offense. But Shamari Connor's in there, man. He's their big hitter also on this defense, not just Justin Reed. Brian Cook is capable of being a big hitter, but they have him back at that deep safety spot. But Shamari Connor, he's a big hitter, and he could play coverage also. And he's a guy that I could see they could use him in blitzes also to help stop the run, maybe lay a big hit on a run blitz on Saquon, and maybe also just set the tone in the passing game if the Eagles start opening up their passing game, started off a little bit with some drag routes or some short dig routes to Devontae Smith or to Goddard. He's got to be a guy they should put out there to set the tone and be like, nah, I'm laying a big hit on both of these guys to let them know, like, nah, we about to stop your passing game shit also. But the thing I like about Shamari Connor as well is he's versatile. He can also play the pass game as well. He can play in the deep zone as well. He has made some plays on the ball. But I think for this one, you need that guy who's going to set the tone in the Super Bowl. Every person, every team throughout the Super Bowl needs that. The Cam Chancellors that set the tone out there, the Bobby Wagners in those type of Super Bowls, the Rodney Harrisons in the Super Bowl games. Teddy Bruschi, you need that play in the middle, whether it's on the second level or the third level, that's going to do that. And I think Shamari Connor is that guy that could be that for the Chiefs in this game, to let them know, like, hey, we know y'all could run and everything like that, but if y'all want to try and pass, I'm letting y'all know we're not going to give it up easy. Same thing in the run game. You could use him on a run blitz if you want to switch it up and have Justin Reed showing like he's blitzing and then drop back in coverage, and then have him come off the edge or come in through, one of the gaps. on the front line and try and stop Saquon in a run for a tackle for a loss, which we probably haven't seen all fucking year. You could maybe do a scheme like that with him because he's a good tackler and he's a big hitter. So, you know, gotta have a good game there, some good schemes on defense, and those are some of those players out here that you probably want to look out for in this game, in the biggest game on stage, which is the Super Bowl, man. But that's gonna wrap it up here for me with this one, this quick hit clip of Welcome to the Franchise. I'm so excited to see this game. It's going to be real entertainment. The best teams on both sides here. Great offense, great defense, good players to watch, good reserve players to watch as I went through this video here. Some non-star players that you probably don't know that also flash and pop out on screen. So I can't wait for it, man. I hope y'all are excited about it as well. That's going to wrap it up for me. Like I said, y'all out there be easy and enjoy the game.